Hi, brothers and sisters. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm a little late, but welcome back as we continue in our 31 days of Proverbs. Today is day 7, and let me just get to Proverbs 7. Okay. Proverbs 7. Another warning about immoral women. Follow my advice, my son. Always treasure my commands. Obey my commands and live. Guard my instructions as you guard your own eyes. Tie them on your fingers as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart. Love wisdom like a sister. Make insight a beloved member of your family. Let them protect you from an affair with an immoral woman, from listening to the flattery of a promiscuous woman. While I was at the window of my house, looking through the curtain, I saw some naive young men, and one in particular who lacked common sense. He was crossing the street near the house of an immoral woman, strolling down the path by her house. It was at twilight in the evening, as deep darkness fell. The woman approached him, seductively dressed and sly of heart. She was the brash, rebellious type, never content to stay at home. She is often in the streets and markets, soliciting at every corner. She threw her arms around him and kissed him, and with a brazen look, she said, I've just made my peace offerings and fulfilled my vows. You're the one I was looking for. I came out to find you, and here you are. My bed is spread with beautiful blankets, with colored sheets of Egyptian linen. I've perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let's drink our fill of love until morning. Let's enjoy each other's caresses, for my husband is not home. He's away on a long trip. He has taken a wallet full of money with him and won't return until later this month. So she seduced him with her pretty speech and enticed him with her flattery. He followed her at once, like an ox going to the slaughter. He was like a stag caught in a trap, awaiting the arrow that would pierce his heart. He was like a bird flying into a snare, little knowing it would cost him his life. So listen to me, my sons, and pay attention to my words. Don't let your hearts stray away toward her. Don't wander down her wayward path, for she has been the ruin of many. Many men have been her victims. Her house is the road to the grave. Her bedroom is the den of death. That's a pretty heavy one, I will say. Um, let's go to the overview. So here is the overview. Proverbs 7 is a father's warning to his son about the devastating consequences of sexual immorality and foolish choices. It contrasts the safety of embracing wisdom with the fatal trap of falling for a seductress, emphasizing that prevention requires guarding the heart and avoiding tempting situations altogether. The key themes and the breakdown. The shield of wisdom, which is verses 1 through 5. The chapter opens by urging the reader to treasure wisdom and insight as intimately as a beloved family member. Internalizing these godly teachings acts as a spiritual defense system against temptation. The anatomy of seduction, which is verses 6 through 23. King Solomon paints a vivid narrative of a naive, inexperienced young man wandering near the house of a married seductress at twilight. She uses flattering words, appeals to his desires, and promises excitement. The young man falls for her deception and follows her blindly, walking into ruin. The tragic consequences, which is verses 24 to 27. The father warns that this path is a highway to the grave. The young man is compared to an ox going to the slaughter or a bird hurrying into a trap. He loses his integrity, his reputation, and ultimately his life because he ignored wise counsel. Modern meaning and application. While the specific scenario involves a literal adulteress, the metaphorical meaning holds broad relevance. The seductress as temptation. The woman represents any seductive temptation that disguises destruction as pleasure. She uses persuasive speech and targets our vulnerability. The path of the naive. It warns against heedless boundary crossing and putting oneself in risky environments, strolling down the path by her house. Prevention over cure. The primary takeaway is that the best way to defeat temptation is to avoid it entirely and to fill one's life with righteous principles before the moment of crisis. Now, temptation could be anything. Temptation could be a woman. Temptation could be drugs and alcohol. Temptation could be anything that leads you to sin. So, the devil can make things look very appealing for the moment, but we need to learn how to control our temptations because we need to realize what's important at the end. Is it your little pleasure that you get, your little immediate pleasure that could ruin your eternity? If we remember back again the story of King David and his son Abnon, who raped his half sister Tamar. He was so infatuated with her. He couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep, he couldn't think of anything else. And then when he finally did take her, he was disgusted and wanted nothing else to do with her. So your immediate gratification can lead to something horrible. Because if you do know this story, eventually his brother Absalom killed him for doing what he did to their half sister. So please think before you act. And it may sound ridiculous, but think about what would Jesus do in this situation? Or what would Jesus want you to do? So stay blessed, my brothers and sisters, and I look forward to continuing the reading in the book of Proverbs. May God richly bless you. See you soon.